All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody and welcome to Halal Stock Hunters episode 1. We've rebranded it slightly. Let's see if we are live on Facebook. Aku nak tengok. And today, where does it say? What does it say? All right, we are live. I can see it. Very, very nice. So I have the esteemed Datuk Paduka Tuan Agong apa lagi panjang-panjang Adi Ismail with us tonight here on Halal Stock Hunters. We're going to be reviewing our portfolio. We've been maintaining a Halal Investing Network model portfolio on stock calls that we feel that would be good to hold. And so just to show you the stock portfolio that we have done paper trading on. And so you're more than welcome to follow us, do together with us, and we'll review our numbers. And so from last week, we covered a few things. Today, we are going to review the stocks that we felt a good conviction in and we decided to go in. We'll show you the performance over the past week. And tonight, we will pick 2 additional stocks that you may want to consider adding to your portfolio. And come Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we'll be reviewing our calls for the week and see how we were doing. And remember, this is not an invitation to invest in any of these things. It is really more for educational purposes, and so do your own due diligence. Okay, I'm going to share my screen really quickly before I throw it back to Adi. Okay, so welcome to Halal Stock Hunters on the 9th of May 2021, uncovering halal gems in the stock market. Woo! Shock. Portfolio review. Last week, we said CROX. On the 5th of May, it was trading at 104.23. Freeport McMoran, FCX, 5th of May, $40.32. The tractor supply company, TSCO, at 193.48 on the 5th of May. Before I show you the performance, let's go to Adi. Adi, all yours.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Right, as usual, me and Afiq, we are going to go through a couple of stocks, a couple of counters, which we feel might be worth looking and analyzing and reviewing. Right, so first of all, as usual, we would actually go through the stocks that we have covered in the past session. So as Afiq has shown, the first stock would be CROX, right? So let's go to the charts without further ado. And let me just share my screen. Okay, guys, so we are back on the screen. And right here, we are going to look at CROX. Let me just enlarge the chart. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys can actually see the screen right now. We are still in an uptrend channel. And interestingly, as you can see, price have actually broken above the uptrend channel and actually touched $100. Previously, we were actually looking at this particular chart. And we were saying that it's going to go sideways until it breaks this rectangular sideways pattern here, right? So I'm just going to draw so that you can see that it was actually trading at this point between 70, 75 and around 84, 85. We were around this region, and we were saying that if price were to go above this resistance, it will go towards $90 and possibly 100. But right now, the $100 level, which is a round number level, doesn't seem to be offering much resistance. So price continues to go up further from here, and now it is at $108.92. So if actually you would have bought around the $80 region, that would have easily been in about 25% returns, right, Afiq?
Yeah. I look at the chart phone, I should have gone in earlier, right?
Yeah, but anyway, this particular stock is still rising. And if you actually follow the economic news, last Friday, basically we had the non-farm payrolls report, which is the employment report for the United States. And the figures were actually below expectations. So it's actually worse than expected. So we've been having a number like that impacts upon how the Federal Reserve would actually, whether they would want to increase rates or they would continue with their quantitative easing and stimulus policies. So because of the worse than expected employment figures, most of the analysts and traders out there, they are thinking that the Federal Reserve would not actually increase interest rates yet. So we would see more stimulus, and this is good for the stock market. Afiq, do you get that, Afiq?
Yeah, I think that's very, very interesting and good news for us.
Yeah, I mean, the stimulus policy is basically affect basically how things are going to pan out for the stock market. If let's say they decide to increase interest rates, that is basically not going to be good for the stock market, as an increase in interest rates means that it's going to be harder for businesses to take loans, for consumers to take loans and spend, and basically help to boost the economy, right? So if they can't spend and the businesses can't loan and expand their balance sheet for further growth, it's going to impede the returns, right, for companies, and therefore it's going to be basically a bleak picture for the stock market. But that didn't happen, so that's why you can see right now that CROX have actually crossed beyond the $100 level, and possibly the next, where do you think is the next level where you can go to? In my opinion, it will be basically the $120 point, right? So that is the next level that it might actually go towards. But if you are going to be buying this stock, okay, basically if you want to do a less aggressive approach, you could actually wait for the price to actually reverse and retrace back to the $100 level, which should provide support at that level, right? So however, this level here at around the 99 and 100 zone, the buyers need to protect that level, because if not, it will go back inside this particular channel here and go towards $84, right? But looking at how we have a gap up here and how price actually, we have a bullish engulfing candle after this black candle, which is actually a bullish signal, I think that price is going to go further up together with the overall market.
Wow. I think that is a fantastic analysis. I totally agree where you're coming from. And yes, the news from the US non-farm payrolls was a bit discouraging at that time, right? They're expecting 1 million jobs added, but they only added what, 260,000-ish. That's what I remember. And looking at the performance of CROX over the past week, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. If you look at the long-term chart that Adi is showing us right now, CROX all of a sudden started shooting up in March of 2020. That was almost a 45-degree angle up from March of last year. Amazing, isn't it?
Yes, definitely amazing, and it's actually gone beyond the all-time high of around $75. And basically, when prices go to on the upside like this, it's very hard for us actually traders even to actually project how far it can go. But there is one particular tool which traders often use to actually project how high it can go. So, but let me see whether we can actually use that. Okay, so let's try this particular tool here.
Is that the Fibonacci?
Yes, it is. And okay, I need to find another tool, Afiq. Let me just try and find here whether it is available here. Fib trend-based Fib extension. Okay, that's the one that actually we would be looking for. All right, so we'll be looking for not this one, it's this one, trend-based Fib extension. So we take a low here and we actually project. Right, so we have the low. So as you can see, it is projecting for that the next point where the price may head to is at the 1.618 Fibonacci level, which is actually near the 120 level, which we discussed just now, I think. So
Yeah.
it should be going towards the 117.54. Okay, so how you use this particular tool is that you find a swing low, all right, which is, we'll take it at this level here, which is, this is a swing low. So from 0 to the last high, all right, which is at the 75 level, And you can see that the projection for the first projection is at the 1.272, which is at 94, around $94, before the next projection towards the 1618, which is at the 116.94. Quite close actually to the 120 round number level.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if it goes to the 116, so you got about another 10% upside from where we are right now, right? So, however, if you want to be a bit more careful when you are actually buying a stock that's actually trending up, is that you wait for it to retrace a little, go back down, maybe towards testing the 99, 100 level, and you enter at that point and place your stop loss 10 to 15% below that entry level, and wait for it to rebound towards the next upside target.
Oh, that's a beautiful chart, man. That's a beautiful chart. So, folks, if you're watching right now, this is CROX. We've reviewed the performance over the past week. Later on, we're going to show you the performance of the Halal Investing Network model portfolio. This is something that we've been maintaining. We've decided to start and maintain this portfolio based on an initial capital and project how far we've come. So that is CROX for now. CROX, Adi mentioned, it did break the $100 psychological mark. Now it's about 108. We could target to look at 120, but if it does come back down to break that 100 mark again, you might want to consider holding off and waiting for it to break again. Right, Adi?
Yes, you're right there, Afiq. So can we move on to the next stock?
Yes, let's go on to the next stock. Next stock is actually FCX, Freeport-McMoRan. Now, Freeport-McMoRan is a mining company that deals in commodities, metals, and so on. We saw that chart, look at that, from the March of 2020 until now, also almost a 45-degree angle up. And if you've been reading the news, you would have heard of the commodity super cycle. Now, I'm not going to explain too much about the commodity super cycle. You can just Google it, find more information and read up. But suffice to say, from a trading perspective, that looks like a very interesting chart. And we gave it a call on the 5th of May last week. Today is the 9th of May. Let's see how it's done so far. Adi, back to you.
Okay, right now the price is at a 43.97. So the last time when we actually covered this, what was the price, Afiq?
5th of May was 40.32.
Okay, so I'll just mark it out here. So we actually 14.32. Okay, that is where we actually made a analysis of this particular stock, and right now it has gone up to 43.97. So easily that's about 8%, upside already. And it looks like this particular stock is meeting some resistance at this point. That's where it actually stopped. But the momentum looks strong. And if you look closely here, right? If you look closely on, this is the weekly chart anyway. Okay, basically down here you have a pintail candle. Okay, that is a bullish price action. So it looks like a rocket, right? So you have like the buyers coming in here to push, price back up, and then after that the momentum continues to the upside, right? So of course, if this particular resistance level here at 44.3.97 is beaten, we can actually expect price to go towards the next resistance, which is at about 48.58. So if you had bought in when we actually first reviewed this stock at around 40.32, if it went to 48.58, that's easily a 20% upside, actually, Afiq.
Oh, cantik, man.
Yep. Yep. So generally the stock market, is on an uptrend, and like we reviewed in one of our earlier sessions, we mentioned that this particular uptrend is not yet up for a reversal, maybe a little bit later on. It could be next year, or it could be in Q3, but we'll always be looking at this. We always go, we always review the charts as it goes, and we'll update you guys if there's any news that might actually affect the stock markets somehow or other, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So if you are going to be, if let's say, is this part of our portfolio, Afiq? You put it in the portfolio, right?
Yes, it is.
So at 40.32, right? You actually put it as when we bought it?
Correct. Where we bought in on the 5th of May at 40.32. I'll show everybody the three counters that we did last week. If you want, we can move on to the next one, TSCO. That's the Tractor Supply Company. We bought in on the 5th of May at 193.48.
Okay, so this is where we entered 193.48. Let me just key in 193.48. All right, so right now the price is at 195.46. It's not much movement, but it's still better than a downside. It has actually went up. And on this weekly chart, I would just like to note that we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Right? Do you remember that pattern, Afiq?
Yes.
I did share with you before, right, about that pattern.
Then that was a very bullish indicator.
Yep, correct. So you have a situation whereby you have the left shoulder here, right? And then you have the head pattern here, and then you have the right side, which is actually the right shoulder. So you have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and this is the neckline. They call this part the neckline. So you can see as it broke above, price actually for 2 weeks came back down and tested this neckline before moving up further to the upside. So if we had spotted this earlier, Afiq, we could have actually, put in a buy order around this level. It would have been awesome, right? But we covered the stock somewhere around here, right?
Correct.
No worries. As we go along, as we see more of this, as I, highlight certain things that are on the charts, I hope you guys can actually benefit from our analysis. And yeah, all this is free. So
for
do
now,
take advantage of it.
It's free for now. We will reserve the right to charge. And so what do you think of the prospects for TSCO in the next coming week or so?
Okay, I will just, this is what I'll do. Usually I will just actually put the last low, swing low to the last swing high, and then I will just do a parallel of this particular arrow, and then I will just project it outwards. Okay, this is a method actually. It's called a measured move method. Right?
Measured move method.
Yeah, it's called a measured move method. So this is projecting towards 216.
Wow. 216. So if considering we got in at 193 to 216, that's also about 20% up.
Yep, around there. It's about 20%.
No, but 10 to 15%. 10 to 15%, yes.
Yes, correct. 10 to 15%. So at that level, when it reaches 216, yeah, some you might see some correction from there, but we might never know. It could be like CROX, where price actually didn't even, at the price of 100 round number, didn't even actually bother it that much.
It was a very nice chart. CROX was very, very nice. Okay, yeah. So I am going to show everybody our portfolio now. How do I do this? I'm going to stop your sharing, and I'm going to share what we have here. And Halal stocks. There we go, our Halal stock hunter. So last week on the 5th of May, we entered in CROX at 105.23, Freeport McMoran FCX at 40.32, and TSCO, Tractor Supply Company, at 193.48. Let's look at it now on the 9th of May. Today, we looked at the numbers. CROX is up 4.5%. Freeport McMoran is up 9%. Oh my god. And TSCO is up 1%, not bad, 1%. And we are targeting for all these three stocks to continue moving up. Right, Adi?
Yes, correct. We are looking forward to actually see how you perform next week. But looking at the NFP figures, and from my experience, I think usually you will continue to move up. Right? Yes. Because privy to actually the announcement of the NFP figures, which usually will come out during the first the Friday or the first week of the month on Friday. Okay, it is a figure that is watched by the big investors, the hedge funds, the institutional investors, and it's a figure that will determine the policy that's going to be taken by the Federal Reserve. So prior to actually the announcement of these figures, there was talk that the Federal Reserve might actually look to increase interest rates, all right, so that inflation could be kept in check. However, of course, there are still people who think that the Federal Reserve might not increase the interest rates, but right now with the NFP looking quite sullen, I think we won't see the Federal Reserve increase interest rates so soon yet. So that's something that we should monitor as well, I think, on the economic front.
Okay. Totally understood. And when we look at the macroeconomic factors, of course, we will be making a call on this. And so look out for the review on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. I will be putting it up on our HIN group, and watch out for our view then. So now, tonight, we have picked a couple more interesting stocks, which I think might be interesting to add to our portfolio. Let me introduce the first one. Where is it? Let me introduce the first one. Today's picks is PFPT, Proofpoint Inc. They are an enterprise level, and enterprise means they actually supply big solutions to big companies compared to SMEs and small business owners like you and me. They actually roll out huge solutions to big size multinational companies, and so they provide cybersecurity in email and social media on an enterprise level. They were founded in 2002 and they managed to IPO in 2012. They've been one of the biggest suppliers of security software since they first came out until now. And as we know, there is a lot of more interest in cybersecurity. Increasingly, we're all moving more and more towards the online space, and more and more important comes security. And so I'm going to leave Adi to look at the charts for Proofpoint. Adi, here you go.
Okay, let me share my screen. All right, so let's look at Proofpoint, a stock that's been selected by us, the stock hunters. That's something that I think we are the kind of brand that we're going to use, right, Afik?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the weekly chart. As usual, we're going to look at the higher time frames because it gives us a better picture of where this market came from and where it is right now. So as you can see, this particular share has actually been moving to the upside. Okay, it's quite simple. I could just draw this arrow here, and you can see that price is moving to the upside, and it's pointing to the 1 o'clock, 1:30 point, right, on the clock, right? So that's how we can actually say that it's actually moving to the upside. However, this particular stock is not that straightforward, right? It's not that straightforward. Why do I say that? Okay, let's just take a look at the trend. Let me just draw the channel here. Okay, so you can see that there were the price volatility for this particular stock. Okay, it's quite volatile basically. You can see that at this point after breaking out, it will continue higher. It met some resistance at this particular point here. So there is strong resistance at the 130 level. So that point was tested in 7th of May, okay, around 7th of May 2018, and it still provided proof as resistance till 4th of May 2020. So it's like 2 years of resistance. Price could not break above that particular level, right? But however, recently it did broke above, but we saw a false break. It went further down, right? You can see that it went further down, right? However, now it is trying to close above it again. So let me just analyze this chart. Hopefully it can give you a good idea of what it really wants to do actually, It's quite tricky, right? This particular share, it doesn't just go up, it moves up and down, it makes a false break. And so I would say that you got to have courage to actually to come into this particular stock. Because with this kind of volatility, sometimes you could be feeling what is happening, why is it coming down, and you won't really understand why it's doing so. But if you understand that this stock is actually quite a volatile stock, then you'll be more prepared, right, Afiq?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to an example, I would say is when we look into high risk areas, we tend to be a bit more prepared, a bit more wary, right? Last time when I was in the army, we go into certain areas where we know that there is enemy action. We are on high alert. right? Like for example, if we look at CROX, you know, we're on home base, we know things are going okay, we can be a little bit more relaxed. But when it comes to volatility like this, I think we have to be a bit more careful. Doesn't mean we can't go in, but we exercise a bit more caution, look at our indicators as what Adi is showing us, and then be aware when we go in. Of course, take the right risk mitigation strategies, and of course, folks, do your own due diligence before you go in. And what Adi is doing right now, he's drawing a parabolic chart, a parabolic line, just to show you the potential price movement.
Yes, and as you can see, this particular area here is actually going to be the resistance at this point. It might, but the good thing is that if you're going to be buying this stock, we have higher swing lows, right? If we mark this one as is the A point, and then this as the B point, and then you basically have the C and the D, right? So if you actually see these points, it's actually getting higher. Right, Rafiq, you can see, right? It's actually moving higher, right? Rafiq?
Yep, successively higher lows. Each of the A, B, C, D lows are actually higher than the previous lows. And from what you taught me the last time, higher lows are a bullish indicator.
Yes. And so we have D, which is point D, which is even higher. So when we have something like this, and then with a break of resistance, which for 2 years actually prevented price from moving up, we have one higher swing lows, we have a resistance which is broken, and we have an overall bullish market at this point. I think this particular stock is going up. So where is it going to go to? As usual, right now it's at 130. So the next round number should be at around 150. That's the next upside, right? However, where would you want to put your stop loss? Basically, if it goes below this particular parabolic line which I've drawn, I think you might just want to exit, right? So you might want to actually put your stop loss somewhere below this particular line here. Okay, if you are risk averse, you can put it actually at a higher point. But if you could actually have want to give more room to your trade, you can actually put it lower. Okay, and the lower it is, you know, basically the more risk you're going to take. So it all depends on how your risk strategy, management strategy is going to be, right? So somewhere around here will be okay, right? So around 120, so you'll be risking about 10%, and you'll be going for another $20 is actually more than 1:1 in terms of risk reward ratio. So yeah, this could be a potential trade, I think.
Now that looks very nice actually. If currently we're moving at about 130, put in a stop loss at about 120, just watch it, make sure that we are on track, and potentially looking at the target price of 150, you're looking at $20, 20 over 130 is what? About 15% moving, 15% up potential, and a 8% downside.
Yes, correct. So yes, this is one stock that has the potential to still move up. But you got to be okay with the volatility that comes with this particular stock, right? As in this, if you look in the past, right, this particular area here, it has been going up and down, right, from 107 to 130. It's about 23% range actually. Before it came back lower and it was pushed up again, and it went inside this particular sideways zone, and then now it has broken above this resistance point at 130.
Yeah, that looks actually very, very nice. But again, when it comes to this particular one, what would your conviction be? Low, medium, high?
I would say it's medium.
Same here, same here. I agree with you. It's a bit medium compared to some of the other counters that we have seen. PFPT, proof point, may be more of a medium conviction. If you are a little bit more hungry, you may want to consider it. But we definitely won't be saying that it's a high conviction. Like, for example, CROX was a high conviction, right? Adi, that was best.
Yeah, that was a high conviction trade, basically. It was already ranging for quite some time, and we had quite we got a space actually from $80 to the $100 level, so it was quite nice, right? In this case, we still have around 150. We still have about $20, but it's about 15%, right? I think it's about 15% upside. That, yeah. But with stock which is more volatile actually. So
Yes.
that's why our conviction is medium conviction.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if we look at the past 2 years, it's just been moving sideways, and it's only recently just breaking the resistance level of about 130 there. And so it's a nice round number, again, very psychological, as you've taught me before. And because of that volatility for the past couple of years, we are not going to say it's high conviction. We're going to say it's medium conviction, folks. Okay. If you do have questions, drop us a comment in the comments below, of course. We'll be more than happy to answer. Now, I'm going to share with you the next stock pick. So we promised 2 counters for tonight. And the second counter that I'm going to show you is... So we had PFPT. Let's have a look at the next one. Today is PAAS. So today both are P, PFPT and PAAS. The Pan American Silver Corporation. They're one of the largest silver producers in the world. They produce silver, gold, zinc, lead, and copper, among other metals. They have mines in Latin America. Now, they're a very old company from 1994, before I was born. No. That's a running joke. Somewhere everything before I was born. And they managed to IPO in 1995. Now, earlier we mentioned Freeport-McMoRan. We mentioned the commodity super cycle. There's higher demand for commodities, especially in the realm of metals. And so if we look at PAAS, they are one of the biggest producers of metals around the world. And I think that when you look at the chart, you can understand why. So I'm going to give it back to Adi. All yours.
Okay, so let me just prepare the charts, change the color back to white. Let's look at PAAS. Let's go to the weekly time frame. And yes, we have the chart in front of us right now. Yes, I'm just going to zoom out. Before I actually analyze the charts, basically, I just want to, okay, sorry.
You're going to share. People are looking, they don't want to look at me, they want to look at the charts.
Okay, so sorry, folks. All right, so can all of you see my chart? I'm sure you can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as you can see, this stock since 1994, right? It IPO'd and at a price of $5. It went up to a high of $44, okay, in 2008. So of course, it took a very long time to actually reach that price, but it went down as fast as well because of the financial crisis. Then we saw it recovered towards the 43 level before it came to another low of $5 again. Now it's back at $34.99. Okay, like what Afiq has mentioned just now, we are now in a commodity super cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I've been reading a couple of reports as well from prominent banks and analyst firms and funds, basically, who are dealing in commodities. And they're saying that basically this year and the next couple of years, we might see commodity price go up, which means precious metals like copper, silver, gold are basically going to see an upside, as well as oil and all the other commodities, okay? Why? Because of the recent COVID situation, the demand for all these resources was quite low. But if we are actually going to come out from COVID-19 situation, these resources will basically be in demand again, right? And looking at the kind of inflationary environment that we are right now, what we are in right now because of all the stimulus that's happening in the United States with trillions of dollars being pumped into the system, we can expect commodity prices to further ascend, right, Afiq?
Yeah. Looking at this, they're trying to open the economies again, which means they're trying to get the demand up. And with the demand, of course, comes higher commodity prices because manufacturing, inshallah, will go up and requiring more of that. But let's drill down into the more shorter term chart. If you look at that from March last year until now, look at that huge spike. And then it's been moving, consolidating, moving sideways for the past year or so. And from what Adi has taught me, if you can see the indicators at the right side, it looks like it might jump a bit higher today. Not today, in the coming weeks.
So you can see that price have actually formed, some sort of resistance around this $39 to $40 level. So right now we are at about $34.99, and you can see that we have like a bull shape here, right?
Mm.
So this is actually supporting prices so far, and we can see that the lows are getting higher as well on this weekly time frame. And so once it breaks the $40 level, I believe that this particular stock will, of course, try to actually test this resistance, which dates back all the way to April 2011. So definitely, it's so near this resistance that it is very unlikely that it will not retest that level of it. So it's like a given, like that high probability, high chance that we're going to see price actually testing 40 and 42.90 level.
So what should we do? What should we do? Should we still, do you think we can still go in and hold on to this?
I think we should. I think we should just put this particular stock in our portfolio, and let's say we purchase it at 34.99. Maybe on Monday you could see how much it opens. So to be fair to everyone, we can't say we buy at 34.99 when the market is closed.
Right.
So we could say that on Monday we could just put in one in our portfolio. What do you think, Afiq? Is that fine with you?
Can. Based on our earlier discussion, I think what we do with this is we enter on Monday and we play that range, right? Considering it's the what do you call that? The support is at roughly almost under 30, just under $30. And we can see that range, right? So about 28.
This is the support level, Afiq. It's around the $28, $29 zone.
Yeah.
So it's still okay, because if we put a stop loss below here, let's just I will mark it with a red line and a dotted red line, so everyone can see, especially our dear audience that's actually looking at what we are, what we are suggesting and what we are analyzing. So somewhere around here could be our stop loss, right? So it's still, the upside is bigger than actually our stop loss. So it looks good. It looks good actually.
Yeah. So the stop loss will be, even if you go in 34, maybe about $5-6 down, and the upside could be another $8 up.
Yes. So you see this resistance here, if let's say price breaks above this resistance, we might see price, if it stays above this slanting line, then it will actually even push higher than this 42.91 resistance. And that would mean that we could have the next round number being tested, which is around the, let me just mark it out here. Okay, the next round number could actually be at the $50 mark. Okay, if it manages to break this resistance over here. But let me just do the measured move approach again.
The Fibonacci one, right?
Measured move.
Oh, measured move.
Yeah. And yeah, we can see that, you can even move higher, I think.
Yeah, pushing
to about $57. So yes, if this particular move, if it goes sideways at this moment, it looks like as if, this thing is just going to go sideways forever. But eventually, okay, time will tell basically that it's going to be going to the upside.
Oh, that looks like a very interesting chart. Nah? So, long story short, low, medium, high conviction.
What do you think of it?
I would say I don't mind putting some money into this. The downside is a bit low, not bad. The upside is quite a lot higher. And knowing what we know about the macroeconomic movements, commodity super cycle, interest rate might be going up. I think it could be a nice way to add in some commodities to our overall portfolio. We already have Freeport-McMoRan, and Freeport-McMoRan has been going up. We saw with Pan American Silver Corp PAAS also the same trend moving upwards. And I trust that if we look at other commodity counters as well, we should see a very similar pattern. So for now, I think for short term, personally, I don't mind putting in some into our portfolio. I would say this is a bit of a high conviction, knowing that the indicator is a bullish one.
Yes, Afiq. So yeah, I'm just marking up the chart so everyone can actually see what we have actually analyze. Yeah, so this is the support line, this is our stop loss line, and this is our resistance point. And I'm going to save this chart. So the next time when we cover this, you know, we would actually be able to see all these markups. So this is the resistance and the first target. Let's just call it TP1, profit 1, or rather target 1. And we have here our target 2. So far, any questions from the audience?
So far, none. So far, none. I don't see any I don't see any questions in the comments as of now. But I suspect tomorrow, when our viewers watch this tomorrow, we might start getting to see questions in there. And so we'll do our best to answer. But don't forget, folks, we do this twice a week, Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday nights, Wednesday morning. So tune in on Wednesday when we review the week.
Okay, Afiq. I think this is our last talk, right?
Very, very nice. Okay, folks. So tonight we covered Proofpoint, PFPT, and Pan American Silver Corp, PAAS. Our review from our previous one. Let me just. I'm gonna stop your sharing sekejap, boleh? Then I'm gonna show our screen, which is this. So in review for tonight, our last week's call on CROX and Freeport McMoran and TSCO, we were up 4.5%, 9% on FCX and 1% on TSCO. So very, very nice movements there. We did recommend 2 counters today, Proofpoint and PAAS. Proofpoint was a medium conviction and PAAS was high conviction. And so tune in, folks, next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Well, Singapore time, 10 a.m. Singapore time, where we will review all the calls that we made today and moving forward what's happening in the week. Now, you guys are probably thinking, okay, we're so nice, we do this for fun. Definitely, we want to add value to our community. And frankly, folks, Adi is super, super busy. I am super, super busy, and we take our time off to do this. I'm sure to do this just for you. Now, if you want more stock tips and you want more lessons and more knowledge to learn, we'll be more than happy to share. Eventually soon, we'll be putting up a link for you to sign up to our Halal Investing Network VIP community. Now, the VIP community is full of like-minded traders, like-minded investors. You'll get access to Adi, you'll get access to me. We'll share with you ideas on how to do passive investing to build your pokok korma. If those of you have heard my story about that, we'll teach you about active investing, how to mitigate your risk, lower your risk, and yet also supercharge your entire portfolio. So look out for our invite coming soon for the Halal Investing Network VIP section. Adi, do you have anything to say?
Yep, I hope that you guys have actually enjoyed the overview of the stocks that we have actually covered today. Basically, Afiq, you know, being a busy man and all that, but he still actually set aside time to actually filter out thousands of stocks and actually look at the trending ones and the halal ones as well, you know, that they are Sharia compliant. Not only just that they are trending, but they are actually Sharia compliant. So this is something which, you know, I got to thank Afiq, because I can't do it myself, you know. He could actually do it. I'm not sure how. He has his magic sometimes. So this is something that I guess he won't share with me even. So I can't explain how he does it. But he seems to be able to find all these gems, you know, these halal gems, halal stocks within the thousands that are out there. So my job is actually just to look at the charts, you know, analyze it, okay, basically objectively explain to you guys whether this is a good, this is a medium conviction, high conviction, or low conviction, and that's my job. But Afiq does the heavy lifting actually of identifying these gems. Thank you, Afiq.
Alhamdulillah, most welcome. After all, we do it for our community, right? We are doing it for our community to add value, because there is no one else out there talking about halal investing, right? I see on Facebook, I see the ads and all that. I see, oh, halal investing, I click, it becomes insurance agent trying to sell me an ILP. And honestly, if you're an insurance agent, yes, I love you. You put it, you fill a very big niche in Singapore, but come on lah, takkan lah, we all just want to invest only in ILPs kan? And so we are trying to fill a very small gap here, a very big gap, sorry, trying to fill a very big gap. Inshallah, we add value to our community, empower you guys through education, you know, and find some good, inshallah, some good profitable halal stocks that we can buy in. Now, folks, so saying that everything that we give you, we've done our due diligence, but you need to do your own due diligence as well, because not everybody's cut out for trading. Not everybody may be, not all these products may be suitable for you. And so this is we've rebranded it to the Halal Stock Hunters, uncovering halal gems in the stock market. Absolutely love it. This is our closing statements. I am going to say good night to everybody. I'm going to end this with Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-As. Adi, do you have anything to say before we close for the night?
I'm good. Thank you, Afiq. I'm good to go.
Alhamdulillah. So let's end this tonight. It is the last, how many nights of Ramadan? 5 nights? 4 nights? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
3 more nights, right?
3 more nights. Yeah, it's 3 more nights.
3 more nights of Ramadan, folks. We do this just for you, and inshallah, the more we do, the more we share, we impact more of the community, and of course, when we impact the community, we impact the nation as a whole. Inshallah, we dapat berkat lah, eh. Kan. That's what we want.
Doakan.
Inshallah, doakan. And so, assalamualaikum, folks. Let's end this with Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-As. What a night. What a night. PAAS and PFPT. Interesting. I'm going to add it to our Halal Investing Network model portfolio. And if you're interested, look at it. Folks, thank you so much for your time. And I acknowledge you for sticking with us on a Sunday night. We'll see you on Wednesday. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.